Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. We are going to go ahead and get started, but please feel free to keep getting something to eat, get something from the bar. We are going to go ahead and get moving with the program. So it is great to see all of you here tonight as we celebrate 33 years of the University of Toledo Family Business Center. I'll take that applause. So that is 33 years of learning, connection, and community, and it's because of all of you in this room that this organization continues to grow and thrive. So whether you've been part of the center since the early days, or this is your first member recognition event, we're glad that you're all here tonight. So if you aren't familiar with the history of this specific event, one of our founders, the dear late Jim Findlay, created a donor fund specifically for this annual event because he felt it was important to celebrate you, to celebrate our members, to celebrate our sponsors and our friends, and to also celebrate the incredible impact that you make every day in your businesses in this region. So this has been one of our favorite events that we do, and we have a great one tonight as well. We have the Always Fun Scutchie Awards, we have a few special recognitions, and of course our keynote speaker, Jamie Richardson, who we can't wait to hear from. But before we get started, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsors, who most of them have been with us for quite a while, and because of them, we're able to do everything that we do throughout the year. So if you're a sponsor, if you could stand up. I know we got some in here. Huntington and Skylight Financial Group has sponsored the center all 33 years. Shoemaker joined us as a sponsor in 1996, Eastman and Smith in 2005, Fifth Third joined us in 2008, Highland and William Vaughn Company in 2017, Family Enterprise USA since 2023, and new this year we have GBQ. So we are incredibly grateful for their partnership and for their support that they provide to us, the center, to our members, to our programs, and to our mission. So, and of course, if I'm talking about sponsors, I can't forget to mention everyone's favorite sponsors, the bar sponsors for this evening. So thank you to Countertop Shop and Krogan Colonial Bank for sponsoring our bar. I also want to take a moment to recognize our Family Business Center team. Megan O'Brien, Eva Curtis, Sally Berglund have worked tirelessly for years behind the scenes to make sure that our programs run smoothly and that our members feel supported. Megan leads our programming, events, social media. Eva keeps our financials on track and oversees our affinity group program, which we know is the heartbeat of our center. And Sally keeps us supported behind the scenes. So this year we were also excited to welcome Steve Hardy, our membership and retention manager. Under Steve's leadership, we now have 217 members. We also have an 85% engagement rate, which is truly amazing, and that's the number that we care most about because our members aren't just writing a check and calling it a day. They're actually participating, engaging, learning, and giving back to other members. So, and of course, we have Eileon, our student intern. She's been incredible. She helped support our golf outing, steps in whenever we need something. She brings energy and drive, and she's graduating this year, as the good students do, so we are going to miss her immensely. She graduates December, and we've asked her to please find a clone to replace you, and I think if anyone could do that, it would be Eileon. So a round of applause for our staff. And now because of this team, and again, because of all of you, we have a lot to be proud of this year. So just bear with me for a few moments while I brag a little bit about the center. So our golf outing raised more money than ever before. I think we're at like $28,000. Our leadership cohort with Dr. Clint Longenecker was such a success that we're offering it again this spring, so more information to come on that soon. We kicked off a new affinity group, and it's already gaining a lot of momentum. Our roundtables continue to grow, and we've even had a few company tours this year that's been really exciting. We're truly reaching more people in more ways, and now we're developing a new program for what we're calling the Now Gen, with the guidance of one of our center members, Steve Zirkle, which we'll announce more about that in the next coming weeks. We're very excited for that program. So we are excited about the direction the center is heading, and we, again, couldn't do it without all of you in this room, so thank you. And then also part of our team, I'd like to introduce our new dean, Barbara Ritter, who is new to the university this year and already a tremendous supporter of our center and our work. So we're grateful for her leadership and partnership as we continue to grow the impact of the Family Business Center. So I would like to invite her up to share a few words.
Thank you, Angie. It's my pleasure to be here with you today, and really, I mean that. I've learned since I've come here in July that our family and small business is the heartbeat of what we do in Toledo and its surrounding region, right? And we're so proud to be able to offer what we do in the Family Business Center. One person that we've yet to recognize is Angie, so please, for all of the work that she does to pull these affinity groups and all of these trainings and all of you together to really help us as a college and as a family business center and as a university uplift our region and what we do through our family and small business. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you being here tonight and all year long. One of our real initiatives in the college is to reach out and connect with our community. As the president says, we are the university for Toledo. So please, you know me now, if you haven't met me previously, if there is anything you need, any good advice you have for us and how we can go forward to better uplift this region, reach out, connect with us, and let's figure out how we can partner in other new and unique ways that will jointly uplift everything we do for our future students and our current students that we have now. So appreciate it. Turn it back to you, and we'll get on with the program.
Thank you, Dean Ritter, for that and for all of your support. Now we would like to take a moment to recognize our advisory board, who provides leadership, direction, and so much behind-the-scenes support. If you are a member of the advisory board or if you serve on one of our committees, would you please stand to be recognized? We lean on our board and our committees a lot, and we truly appreciate you giving your time and your commitment to the center. We also want to give a special thank you to Joe Schrader with Schrader Tire and Oil, who's wrapping up his 2-year term as our advisory board chair. Joe, it's been a great 2 years of moving the center forward, and we appreciate your guidance and steady leadership. And luckily, we get you for 1 more year as an at-large board member. And in the spirit of practicing what we preach about good succession planning, we are thrilled to share that Mike Langendorfer with the Countertop Shop will begin his 2-year term as chair. Allie Sterling with Allie Sterling Philanthropy will step into the vice chair role, and Nan Valek with Surface Combustion will move into the secretary position. We're excited to continue elevating the center and helping even more family businesses across our region. We do have one board member transitioning off this year, not because his term is up, but because he had an incredible honor of being appointed to the University of Toledo Board of Trustees, which might be a slightly bigger deal than our advisory board. To Matt Kripke, who couldn't be here this evening, thank you for your years of support of the center. We're so excited for you and for us. It's never a bad thing to have a family business center supporter sitting on the Board of Trustees.
Okay, so now everyone's favorite part of the evening, our annual Scutchie Awards, or at least my favorite part of the evening. So for anyone who's new to the tradition, the Scutchies are very official, highly prestigious, completely made-up awards that we give out each year. So this is our fun way to recognize people who have gone above and beyond some way to support the center, to support us. It's also, we created these at our 25th anniversary as a way of honoring our previous director, Debbie Scutch, whether she likes it or not, which I'm pretty sure is not, but we do it anyways. And we have so much fun with these. We laugh when we go through these, but I promise you the recognition behind them is real and genuine. So with that, let's get started. So our first one, each year we like to honor an affinity group with a scutchie. And many of you know, I said earlier, that the affinity groups are the heartbeat of our center. They are the best member benefit. So every few years we do an affinity group survey, right, to check up on the health of each group, to find out what's working well, where we can provide support and resources. Ava Curtis did this for us this year. She did a fabulous job coordinating it. And because we like a little friendly competition and we want everyone to complete the survey, we add an incentive. So any group that hits 100% participation gets entered into a raffle for a $200 alcohol credit at their next meeting. And yeah. So we get an 80% completion rate on our surveys. I mean, how many surveys out there get an 80% completion rate? So that's the secret sauce, guys. So now there's one group that takes this really seriously. We did this contest for our first survey maybe 6 years ago. They were the first to all complete it. We did it again this year. They were the first to all complete it. They are efficient, they are committed, they do not play around. We do feel a little bad because it is a drawing, right? Only one group wins. So despite their enthusiasm, they didn't win the drawing either time. So we thought the next best thing we could do was give them a scutchie and access to an open bar tonight. So, yes, but all jest aside, they are no doubt a fun group. But the real reason they're being honored is because they've spent 10 years building something truly special. They show what can happen when people commit, when they show up, and they support each other consistently. They're a true example of the power of peer learning and what our affinity group program is all about. So tonight, we're thrilled to recognize a decade, right, 10 years of connection, growth, and showing the rest of us how it's done, a group that is a perfect 10 in every way, and coincidentally, they happen to be AG10. So it's only fitting that tonight they are receiving the 10 and tonic scutchie, AG10. Yes. You will have to fight over who gets to keep it and display it. So our next scutchie is one of those where we knew who we wanted to recognize, and then we came up with a name afterwards. So as we were talking about why we wanted to recognize this person, we landed on the perfect name. This scutchie is the gold standard of great people. And honestly, that actually fits a lot of people in this room because we are truly surrounded by great people at the center. So we might end up making this one an annual one. But tonight, we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge someone who has been an incredible partner to work with. Collaborative, easygoing, full of good ideas, and always willing to roll up her sleeves and make things happen. We partnered on a few things. She's been amazing every single time. She brings great ideas, and then she actually helps to make them happen. She's not just, here's a good idea, good luck. She's right there with us doing the work. She's the kind of person that finds a way. At our last event, I think the speaker asked for something very oddly specific. Like, I would like a caffeine-free cherry Pepsi Zero Coke. And I'm like, that's not even a real thing. But I would have been like, sorry, we don't have that. Here's a Coke. But she found it. She made it happen. I have no idea where, but she did. She's that person, the one that always delivers, makes it work, and does it with a great attitude. She does a lot for YPO. I know many of you in this room have worked with her and appreciate her just as much as we do, but I'm willing to bet you've never given her a scutchie. So tonight, the gold standard of great people scutchie goes to Lisa Rosen. Yes. Thank you.
Our our next Scutchie goes not to one person, but to an entire company and their team of employees who have truly embraced learning. This company's been a member of the center for a long time, and one thing we've always admired about them is how committed they are to their people and to their continuing education. They don't just talk about professional development, they actually invest in it. If you're not familiar, the center offers a number of certificate programs, cohort-style trainings, customized trainings for member companies, and workshops designed to help teams build skills together. It's a win-win. It's a great way to upskill your employees and at the same time support the center. And this company has really taken advantage of it. They show up, they participate, and they clearly value creating a culture of learning. We've heard from their employees how much they appreciate these opportunities, especially when so many others get that kind of investment because there's just no time or it takes away from them being in the office. Not this group. They've recognized the value of making time for growth. And it's not just our programs. If you follow them on LinkedIn, you'll see they're constantly earning new certificates, sharing learning milestones, and celebrating development at every level of their company. So tonight, the Don't Label Us Complacent Scutchie goes to Bolin Label Company, to Heidi for leading by example, and to the entire team for embracing learning and showing what growth looks like. So clearly, a lot of the Scutchies that we hand out each year, we make up. It's part of the fun. But there are a few Scutchies that have become traditions, and this next one we've been giving out for a while. It's our all-in Scutchie. If you've ever planned an event, hosted a program, or thrown any kind of gathering, you know that feeling of, I'm throwing a party and no one's going to show up. So when people do show up, consistently, and not only that, but they engage, they participate, they add something meaningful to the room, we really appreciate it. So much of what we do at the center is built on relationships. We always say you get out of it what you put into it, and it's true. When you show up and engage, the value doesn't just add up, it multiplies. You build connections, you learn from each other, you strengthen the community around you. Our affinity groups are a great example of that power, but it's not just affinity groups. It's our educational events, our networking events, our roundtables, all the places where real connection and real learning happen. And this year, one person has consistently shown up and engaged in conversations, and we want her to know that we've noticed and that we truly appreciate it. This year's All-In Scutchie goes to Kim Cryan with the Greater Toledo Community Foundation.
All right, for those of you who don't know, my name is Steve Hardy. I am new to the Family Business Center. I've been here about 8 months. I was going to say 6, 7 months, but I fear you guys have heard that enough. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of you, get to know a lot of you, get to know a lot of outstanding business owners in the area, and it's been a pleasure. I've also got to reconnect with some people that I haven't seen in a while in the area, and that's been great as well. When I first started working, we kept talking about these Scutchies, and I didn't really know what we were talking about. But now that I've got a little bit of history, it's nice and it's an honor that I get to give out two tonight. The first one is one actually that has been given out every year since we started doing these awards, and it is the Lifelong Achievement Scutchie. Like I said, this award is about more than just longevity. It's about impact, and the impact that you guys have as members, not only on the center itself, but the community. There's someone that, when I first started working, that I would see over and over at each event that I would go to, and it became apparent that this person was not only impactful to the center, but also respected by his associates. Sorry, I get rambling, I get off pace. All right, this year's winner stood out immediately as someone who's not only involved but respected, like I said. He listens, he engaged, he challenges when needed, and he leads by example. I truly feel that in my short time with the UT Business Center, that this person has a great impact, like I said. He shows up to events, he supports our students, our golf outing, and he funded our executive in residence program for the past 4 years. Behind the scenes, he offers guidance on the executive committee, and when there is a need, he steps up every single time. I have been told that this is his 5th Scutchie, and that he is very proud of that. And also, I think the main reason why he might be winning is he is one of our bar sponsors. So, it is my absolute honor to present this year's Lifetime Achievement Scutchie to Mike Langendeffer with the Counter Shop. All right, the second one is especially important to me. It's someone I've gotten to work closely with in my 8 months here. I've been blessed in my life to get to work with a lot of great students, both at the university in my 9 years working at the campus rec center, but also as a football coach. And I don't think I've met a student as driven, as hardworking as this year's winner of this award. It goes to our intern, Ailean Erez Gutierrez. So, you can sit down. I'm not done talking about you. So when I say hardworking, I do have examples. She is a finance major. She is a sustainability minor. She's got a 4.0 GPA. She spent last summer as an intern at Northwestern Mutual. She's a treasurer of the Global Latin Student Union. She's a former treasurer of the Women in Business Leadership. She's a former vice president of International Students Association. She's a former executive secretary with the Student Green Fund. She is our Family Business Center intern. And because she doesn't like free time, this past semester, her last semester, she decided to play a sport for the first time in her life. And she joined the UT rowing team. And she not only tried out for it, but she made the team and was a Division I athlete in her final semester at UT. She's also responsible for putting in refillable water bottle stations in our business building, something she did just because it needed to be done. We have no doubt at the center that someday she will be a doing right recipient in some way. She has been a tremendous help to everyone in our office, and although we will miss her greatly, we are very excited to see what the future has for our Ailean.
Congratulations to all of our Scutchie winners. And without further ado, tonight's keynote comes from a brand that invented the Crave. Jamie Richardson is Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations at White Castle, where he's been a leader and spokesperson for more than 2 decades. As an in-law in a 5th-generation family business, Jamie brings a unique perspective on leadership, legacy, and what it means to carry forward a century-old company while still keeping it fresh, relevant, and fun. Jamie joined the White Castle home office in the late 1990s and has held senior roles spanning marketing, public relations, corporate shareholder relations, government relations, and communications. In short, if you've seen or heard something smart, heartfelt, or crave-worthy from White Castle, Jamie probably had a hand in it. We're thrilled to welcome him to Toledo. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Jamie Richardson of White Castle.
Important to figure out which button to push here, too. So, oh my gosh, those awards were like Academy Award-like. Really, really great stuff. I was expecting to see E-television outside or something with all the cameras. But, it's such an honor to be here. I grew up in Lenawee County, and my mom's family came from Toledo. My grandparents on my mom's side, They went to Maumee and Whitmer High School. They each graduated with 35 or 40 people, so they're a little bit bigger now, I know. But it's awesome to be back in really what's been a second hometown for me. And it's just been awesome getting to know about all the great things that you're all accomplishing together and 33 years in. And, you know, an evening like this is an auspicious crowd. And I thought, well, I usually don't try to mix hamburgers with philosophy, but I thought, well, if I could ever do it, I mean, the dean was here, we had, you know, all this stuff is going on. So I was reminded of the quote from George Wilhelm Hegel, who said something really profound. This we can assert absolutely, nothing great in this world was ever accomplished without passion. And so that's what I'll talk about tonight in terms of what that's translated to for White Castle. I'll kick it off with just, we call this our sizzle reel. So we can crank up the volume if you want. I don't know if we'll get reverb, but
yeah, ain't tryna be cool like you. Wobbling around in your high heel shoes, I'm clumsy. Made friends with the floor. 2 for 1, you know I buy 4. And 2 left feet, you know I always drop. First thing a girl did was a bop on the whole cake and the cherry on top. Shook up the bottom, made a good girl pop. I'm a boss, I'm a and a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a and a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a and a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'm a shine like glass. After you've been the before, I've been the stallion, you've been the seahorse. Don't need a report, don't need a press run. All of my bad pics been all my best ones. I wear the hat and I wear the pants. I am advanced, so I get advanced. And I do my dance and cancel the plans. Said, boo, don't be mad, cause you had a chance. Yeah, said I took it and I ran for it. I run it and I stand on it. Money on the floor when we dance on it. Shine bright with a put a tan on it. Said I took it and I ran for it. I run it and I stand on it. Money on the floor when we dance on it. Shine bright with a put a tan on it. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass. I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'ma shine like glass.
as I learn more about all that you've been up to with all the great work, I realize that White Castle as a family-owned business has a lot in common, not only with the Family Business Center, but I bet a lot of your family businesses as well. And those things to me would be taking a longer view, that people matter, values count, and the chance to make a difference is what calls us to do what we do every day. So I'm going to share some examples of things along the way. Some of these, because we're among friends, other family-owned businesses, it's when we stubbed our toe or didn't do it quite right, because we think that's actually the greatest source of learning sometimes. I'll start in the beginning, though. It's 1921, Wichita, Kansas. Billy Ingram, who is a real estate agent and also an insurance broker, meets this guy named Walt Anderson. He helps him find a home in Wichita. And Walt has some hamburger stands, and they start talking, and Billy says, you know, what if we did something a little bit different and called it White Castle, white for cleanliness and castle for permanence and strength. Upton Sinclair's The Jungle had come out not long before that, so hamburger was not something that self-respecting parents would feed their kids. That was worse than fair food. And so they really thought that if you had 100% beef, if you did it in a special way, made it extra tasty, and were super, super clean, that could mean something. Also, he had a fundamental belief that every family, no matter their income level, deserved to have a night out at a restaurant to have a hot and tasty, affordable meal. So from the beginning, on day one, 5-cent hamburgers were how we started off. And in fact, as we grew, we maintained that 5-cent hamburgers from 1921 to 1946. I'll They are a little bit more now, but it's still a great value. And we did grow. And so we started to grow throughout the Midwest. And Billy was a great salesperson, the first marketer in fast food, because we were the first fast food chain. But he called us a national institution when we were in 10 states. So we thought, well, why not? Then I'll tell a story in a minute about how we really did become nationally distributed. In the very beginning, it started with the idea that we needed to treat each employee, each team member with absolute dignity, that they deserve to be treated first rate. And Billy had a really simple philosophy: happy employees make happy customers. And that was embedded in everything that we do, even today. So one of the things that we do have as a vision and mission, I've got this clip, I just found this. I thought, I've got to get it into the presentation, because somewhere in the archives and someone digitized it. But this is our second generation leader, Edgar Ingram, reading the White Castle Pledge, which he and his dad wrote in 1934.
The skills of each person in every part of the organization are vital to the fulfillment of our pledge to our customers, serving the finest products for the least cost in the cleanest surroundings with the most courteous personnel.
The White Castle Pledge it was really simple and straightforward. Serving the finest products for the least cost and the cleanest surroundings with the most courteous personnel. And for the longest time, that shaped every single thing we did. We learned over time we needed to evolve that. So today, the vision is feed the souls of craver generations everywhere, and our mission is create memorable moments every day. And then the values that help shape how we make decisions are be family inclusive, treat each and every individual with the dignity they deserve, moment motivated, in terms of look for that art of the unexpected, when you can make that special moment, that engagement, that interaction with a customer that really matters. Results driven, because at the end of the day, we have to make money. We have to be able to price things right. We have to be able to invite people in, keep them coming back. And then we call this fourth one continuous crave, which is all around the idea of how do we constantly get better? How do we look for ways to really improve where we've been? How do we find a way to make it better? And that's really allowed us to embrace the things that don't work as well sometimes. Passion for people. So I'll talk about these things that we're passionate about. From the beginning, Billy had that simple statement. Today, that takes different form. We're really fortunate. So we have 340 restaurants. We own our own meat plants. If anyone can come up with a better name, we're searching. I've been trying to push slider provider, but I can't get people to buy into it yet. So if there's a vote in social media or something, I'm just, yeah. But, and 2 of our own bakeries. And then we have a frozen food division, 2 retail plants that supply the grocery channel. So we're in all 50 states with the frozen food, and those are delicious, right in the microwave and mighty tasty. That passion for people is what shapes it. So for the 5th year in a row, we're so fortunate we've been certified as a great place to work. We're the only fast food chain that's been able to do that. And that really means a lot to us. Our general managers in the restaurant, on average, have been with White Castle 21 years. And the turnover rate for that group last year was less than 6%. So we have 8 regional directors to a person that each started behind the counter at a castle when they were 15 years old. So it's something that family, yeah, we're family owned, but that family inclusive really relates to the larger team. We have a passion for sharing our story. And this didn't come easy for us. So we were innately shy for, maybe our first 90 or so years. And then I think we realized that, wow, people really like White Castle. There's something about these stories, and people go to great lengths to satisfy their craves. I'll talk about that more in a moment. And then one day, I got a phone call. I really thought it was my friend Deanna Winder playing a prank on me, because it was close to April Fool's Day. And there was someone from, hello, this is Cassandra Barber from Hollywood. We have a script we'd like you to take a look at. And so she described it as a midnight adventure of 2 likable underdogs who make their way to White Castle. I thought, this is either totally made up, or they're going to try to charge us like $1 million, because you couldn't make anything. Well, they sent the script, and I threw it in my bag. My wife and I have 5 kids. Chloe had just been born. I remember getting up in the middle of the night to hang out with Chloe. I thought I should probably read that script. And she failed to mention to me it was rated R. But anyway, I read the script, and then there's quite a debate in terms, I really believe think, oh, we should do this. And the person I reported to at the time did not have that point of view. And it was a really good debate, discussion. And then finally, my boss said, fine, if you want to go ask Bill Ingram, you can. Well, I wasn't smart enough to realize that wasn't serious. So the next thing you know, I'm standing outside Bill Ingram's office, and I had the perfect pitch down. I knew how I was going to sell this in. So I took a deep breath. I stood in his office. I noticed the carpet was a little cushier. It's kind of nice. And he's sitting at this big desk, and my perfect pitch went right out of my head, and all I could blurt out is, it has sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Other than that, it's really good for us. And Bill kind of looked back, and he said, what are you talking about? And I thought that was it. You know, I'm the in-law who gets to work there, and this is it. But he listened a little bit more, and I settled down and told him, oh, there's this film, and he had one question. It was the best question ever. I told him, about all the different scenes, and he said, does it make fun of our team members? I said, no, it doesn't. He goes, oh, I'm fine with it then. So that is how Bill Ingram greenlighted the greatest film to never win an Academy Award, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. So what might have been did become reality thanks to Bill. And it's so funny. Literally was just in New York last week. They're filming a documentary, and they wanted us to be in the documentary. So you're getting to hang out with the people that 22 years ago, it was just a thought. So from that, there's a great Yiddish proverb. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So years later, you don't worry about the, aftermath or whatever. It was a great film. But we got asked to be on Fox Business News to talk about our competition and all-day breakfast, but we'd started that before them. So we said, absolutely. So we had all of our talking points down. We were ready to take on the big guys. We were going to send them, kick them to the curb. White Castle's back in town. Well, this is how the interview actually went. The producer didn't tell us what some of the questions were going to be. Let's take a look.
Let's get to McDonald's, please. That's an ongoing story. We're all over it. $104.04 as we speak. Looks to me like the introduction of all-day breakfast was a big success. Customers like it, they're thrilled by it, and the stock is up near record high. Franchise owners, they say, oh, they're not loving it. Come on in, White Castle's Jamie Richardson, a complete competitor to McDonald's. So, you going to beat them? Easy?
Stuart, as a family-owned business, been around since 1921. We're happy to welcome McDonald's to the all-day breakfast offering. That's something that we launched about 4 weeks ahead of them. But we had over 20 million hours of practice because we were doing anything, anytime you want it from 1986 until recently. And now we're just doing everything 24 hours. So you can get a double cheeseburger or a breakfast waffle sandwich. So we think it's a great combo.
That is your commercial. You took 30 seconds. You got the commercial. I gave it to you. Now, listen, I am told that you have the reputation, White Castle has the reputation of being full of people who are stoned on marijuana and they've got the munchies. Is that true?
Well, the Castle's always open. We're that late-night oasis, but I think it's probably safer to say that customers are craving that one-of-a-kind taste because you can get that fresh cracked egg you can't get other places.
Oh, what's your name again, Jamie? You just converted my question into yet another 20-second commercial. That was really cool. Will you answer the question? You do have a reputation as being full of stoners.
Well, we're known for lots of things, and part of that is being there for all of our customers anytime they want to come to the castle. So, and the fact that we're family-owned and have been since 1921, we think makes a big difference to all of our neighborhoods. So we're there for all of our customers, and we've been open 24 hours since the 1920s. So whether it's that stop after the party or what it might be.
I just can't. You are so good. Every question becomes a commercial in your response. Hold on a second. Jolene Kent is here, young lady who knows what she's talking about. She has. Do you have a question?
I have a question for you. I want to know how you're grappling with millennials who want to eat healthier food and know what's in it. White Castle is not known to be a healthy spot for good eating.
That's good.
Yeah. That's changing as time goes on. We have a grilled chicken sandwich. We actually just introduced a veggie slider. And, just sharing the facts, they're all hot and tasty. So, but that's a real issue with a lot of younger customers, and I think they're finding the Castle's there for them.
Okay, Jamie, that was pretty good. I think it was an incredible 3-minute commercial. No matter what we asked, we got a commercial. You can come back anytime you like, but next time we'll charge you. Jamie Richardson, White Castle. Thank you very much, sir.
Crave on, my friends. Crave on.
Yeah, crave on. I like that. Very good.
Even got a last-minute plug.
We never got invited back. But it was fun while it lasted. We have a passion for celebrating the good. And pictured on the screen is the most famous person in the history of White Castle. It's not Edgar Ingram, our second generation leader. It's not Bill Ingram, our third generation leader. It is Elaine Masita, who worked for White Castle 67 years. And so when Elaine retired, God rest her soul, she just passed away a few years back, but White Castle did something we'd never done. Bill let her keep her security badge. He figured she was low risk. The other thing we did is made her hire date June 8th, Elaine Masita Day. So now, every year on June 8th, when someone reaches 15 years of service, they get a pin, a lapel pin that says 52 years to go. So Elaine is legend and someone we remember very, very fondly. We have a passion for creating memorable moments. This idea of being able to surprise people in ways that are unexpected. They've sometimes made a pilgrimage. They've sometimes gone to great lengths, or they've just been waiting for that cup of coffee after a late night shift or whatever it might be. So that for us has been really fun to bring to life in lots of different ways. We have Valentine's Day reservations. So since this is a friends group, reservations open on January 12th, but let us know. We can get you in early. Last year, we had 35,000 people join us for Valentine's Day, and we put out white tablecloths, and the general managers love it. They each get a budget to decorate their own castle and do what they want to do, but people show up in limousines and evening gowns, and it's really a blast. It's fine dining at its very best. And we even did a love cube last year. So for people who couldn't make it there in person, you could take it home or get it sent to you. We also have the Cravers Hall of Fame. And this is to celebrate our most ardent fans. And many are called and few are chosen. Fun fact, it is easier to get into Harvard than it is the Cravers Hall of Fame. We've done the math. But along the way, we've had some really great inductees who really bring it to life. This is one of the groups. And we bring people in from all over the country, and they enter as absolute strangers, and they leave as best of friends because they have this shared love of White Castle. And sometimes it's an investment banker sitting down with the kindergarten teacher or whoever it might be, but it's just amazing to see these friendships unfold. We're still waiting for people who meet at the Cravers Hall of Fame induction ceremony to have the sparks fly and, love will blossom. We did have a proposal during one of the induction ceremonies that was pretty cool. Alice Cooper, Cravers Hall of Fame. And he came and visited us in our offices in Columbus. And he's very kind, outside the makeup. He's really got a gentle soul. So that was a lot of fun. I'd say we have a passion for hot and tasty food and recognizing that 100% beef, steam grilled on a bed of onions, served in a bakery fresh bun with one perfect pickle. That's the center of who we are. The menu's gotten bigger over time, it's evolved, but being able to bring that home. And the packaging has been part of the fun. So along the way, we've had the opportunity to look at different ways on the packaging. We believe that we invented the idea of carryout, because in 1927, we started putting the hamburgers in little sacks so people could take them home. And we think that's been part of the fun there. That really led to a third generation leader, Bill Ingram's big innovation. So it's the mid-'80s. And he's out in a castle in New York, and he notices this person's just taking sacks and sacks of burgers home. He said, "Oh, are you having a party?" The guy looks at him, and he said, No. I put these in the freezer. He goes, "What? You put them in the freezer?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "What do you do that for?" He goes, "I got this new appliance. It's called a microwave oven." These reheat really good in a microwave oven. So Bill started thinking, well, we could license this. We don't know anything about making frozen food. Well, we called all the big players, and I won't mention their names, but all of them kind of laughed at us and said, "You'll never sell fast food in the grocery store. Who would buy that?" Thankfully, Bill didn't get discouraged, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do too. He didn't get discouraged, but we went and built it ourselves. And so today we have 2 dedicated plants, one in Vandalia, Ohio, near Dayton, and then one in Louisville, Kentucky. And that has allowed us to be in all 50 states. It accounts for 25% of our sales. and a bigger percent of profit because it's easier to manage cost. And we've really learned and built that from the ground up. So it's been really, really fun to bring that to life. Whoops, that was a screen grab. I gave away the next slide, but there was also at the same time, not long after that, a suggestion box program. And one day there was a recommendation that came from two people, two different parts of the country, said, hey, what if you put 30 sliders on the grill when you're in the restaurants? What if you had a pizza box that you could put the 30 sliders in? That would be pretty cool. And so we got to work on it. It's like, let's go. And so we found 6 castles in Chicago that were willing to test it. And in restaurants and retail, you know pretty quick if you got a hit or a miss on your hands. About 2 hours into the test, the phones were ringing off the hook. One small problem, the pizza box didn't fit through the drive-through window. But just like Bill Ingram before us, we didn't give up. And that led to the innovation and invention of arguably the greatest invention in the history of fast food packaging, the Crave case, which fits in an overhead bin. And its natural successor after that, the Crave crate. And for about 12 days, when we opened a castle in Orlando, Florida, my dream came true before someone ordered one, and we had a Crave pallet on the menu. Turns out it takes a while to make 6,192 sliders. So it works better as metaphor than actual menu item. We've got a fashion for foundations. This is a fun look yourself over poster from days gone by. But I think recognizing as family-owned businesses, we all have a history. We have an origin story. We have how we brought that to life over time. And we love our history. We don't want to be bound by our history. We want it to be inspiring to us, not something that contains our ability to grow from it. And so, but that passion for foundations is also something that can lead to passion for the new. So for us, now it's been a few years. It was 2016 when Lisa Ingram, our 4th generation leader, we refer to her as our slider queen. She doesn't demand we call her that, but she does wear shirts that say it, became our CEO. And it was a really peaceful transition of power because there was a thoughtful process that the 3rd generation really invested in. And it couldn't have been easy for them, but they really did a great job of thinking through who's the right person and who will be in what role. And there's a lot of conversation about it over many years, and it led to a really, really great, just natural opportunity for Lisa to lead us into what's next based on the foundation of where we've been from. Tons of respect, lots of love, and also belief that the world's changing around us. So it's not being disrespectful to the past if we have to change. It's recognizing to keep up, we need to keep thinking of what's next. So Lisa right away, it was really cool. She got named to Nation's Restaurant News Power 50 list, which is a big deal. And I said, we should do an ad for that. And she said, yeah, but let's just not do the standard ad. I said, that's probably a good idea because, nothing against it, but a lot of those ads are people in the boardroom or, they're ready to be in the catalog for Brooks Brothers or something. So this is what we came up with for Lisa's ad. Our slider queen bringing it home. Passion for the new. We've been able to open restaurants. We've expanded menu and focused on items, though, that we know there's a market for. And we've opened big in Florida and a couple other, in Arizona as well. It's gone really, really well for us. So that's been fun. This is the castle down in Florida, actually. And at the top, we actually snuck in a Latin phrase. So it's de sardes ego ergo sum. If there's any Latin scholars, please don't check that. But it means I crave, therefore I am. So apologies to Descartes. And this was the opening day. It was insane. Many of us were there. And I still get a little twitchy. If my voice starts to tremble, the lines weren't because we were slow. There's just so many people. To the point where that evening, it did show up on The Tonight Show.
One place that looks like they're going to need some workers is the world's largest White Castle. It just opened, it just opened today in Orlando, and there was a bit of a line. Watch this, look at this. That's all people waiting for, it's a mile long. And after hours in that line, someone is still going to get to the window and not know what they want. first time here, so...
What do you got?
You know, one guy was calling his wife like, look, I know he missed the birth, but... You'll be psyched when I show up with a couple of these steamed burgers.
So not what we were expecting. But other things that have been fun along the way. So we have this habit of answering the phone and good things happen. So this is it's been about 9-10 years ago, but we got an 800 line call from a fashion designer in New York who had lost their sponsor and wondered, they liked White Castle, would we sponsor their fashion show? And I mean, it's right up there with gourmet dining at Valentine's Day, so why not? So we called them back and said, we don't have much money at all, but this person's name is Bobak Radboy, and then the other person's name is Kirsty Dare. The designer is a guy named Telfar. And we said, sure, we'll do it. So then we met to talk about what the fashion show would look like, and they said, one small problem, since we lost all of our budget and you guys don't have much money, we don't have a place to have the after party. And I said, well, what if we had it in this White Castle? And they said, oh, that sounds like fun. Well, it turned out to be the biggest hit of Fashion Week, which we didn't even know what Vogue was, but there we were. And this is PG-13 video, but I'm going to play it anyway.
Show you how to do my biz. We all bought it.
Wasn't expecting that. Here's the craziest part and the rest of the story. That catapulted Telfar and his line into prominence. He went on to win a year later, and we did all kinds of things together from that point on. The Council of Fashion Designers Vogue Fashion Fund Award. And today, I just visited these guys 2 weeks ago. They have 2 giant buildings in Brooklyn, New York. They are killing it and just become like an international sensation. And they're really great, hardworking people. Now they're building their own family business. So they built it themselves. But it was fun that we got to be part of that story along the way. And they designed our uniforms for our 100th birthday, which is pretty cool. Passion for making a difference. Like a lot of us, we do care about causes and want to be involved and do the best we can. We have a Castle Shares program, which is how we give back to communities in the neighborhoods where we have restaurants. But also, we have a family foundation that's involved in that. This is kind of the last story that I'm going to share. Just a few final thoughts on family business things that we've encountered as we've tried to think of family business governance. But was at an event in Columbus, and somebody said, do you know who you're sitting by? I said, no. He said, Laura Slatkin. I go, fantastic. Who's Laura Slatkin? He said, she's the queen of home fragrance. I didn't know there was a queen of home fragrance. And so we got to sit by her, and I thought, we're getting along pretty good. She's a Manhattan socialite. I'm from Onstead, Michigan. We've got a lot in common. And so as we were talking, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just toss this one out there. So, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made a candle that smelled like a White Castle hamburger? And she goes, She didn't talk to me the rest of the night. She literally kind of, and I thought, well, you never know until you try. I'm not joking. 4 weeks later in the mail, I get this package, and I open it up, and it's a little mason jar. What is this? And there's a Post-it note on it, and it says, the beef is there, the bun is perfect, and I'm still working on the pickle. XOXO, Laura. So we made the candle, and we sold them in the castles to raise money for Autism Speaks. And so far, over the years, we've raised $450,000 for Autism Speaks, selling that candle. And we lured Martha Stewart and Vera Wang to White Castle. They did not want any food. I figured they had a big dinner. And we got made fun of on Saturday Night Live, so it's like that kind of made it complete. I'll close with this, passion for family. This is what makes us all different. This is what gives us the opportunity to have a legacy, and we believe make decisions that are on a timeline that has impact for the long haul by building something and nurturing it and looking for ways to grow it. And so for us, 3 laws we try to live by. There's no substitute for shared experience. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and to everything, there's a season. So I'll talk about each of these real briefly. No substitute for a shared experience. We have family meetings, which we didn't used to do, but started around 1998, so now I guess we've been doing it for quite a while. So all the kids who are in the 5th generation have grown up knowing their second cousins because there's, it's not 2 weeks, and it's usually, if it's real extravagant, we'll go to Nashville. It's almost always in Columbus, and it's fun. And there's a whole program track for the kids to learn from one another and visit other family businesses, do experiences together. And then there's a part of the meeting that management comes and shares updates on how the business is doing with family members. And then there's family governance discussions. And over the years, we've had committees work on different things. We do have a family employment policy that came out of all that, and a set of family values and a vision that started a lot of it. So that family meeting was really a starting point. And then risking vulnerability was something that we really dove deep on and trying to understand, especially for a 3rd generation, because when that generation was growing up, they didn't talk about the business, and so they didn't have the knowledge that they were able to share with the 4th generation. So it made it easier for us because of what they did. And we have had a family business consultant that's really helped. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The family employment policy is really helpful. We do have a requirement that someone work outside the business for 3 years before they're eligible to come into the business. And we try to really stick to make sure it's not creating a job that there's not a need for, because we want that person to have credibility and growth and a chance to contribute and be responsible about it too. There are 8 4th generation family members who work in the business. And then one of the biggest things that happened is we switched from a board that was made up of general counsel for the business was on the board, and CFO was on the board. We, 4th generation, made a recommendation to move to an independent board, and we still have, through the bylaws, the opportunity to control that. If someone wanted to try to do something that the family didn't want to do, they could be asked to leave the board. But that's been really helpful for us in terms of getting people outside of White Castle's perspective. And as needs have changed over the past 18 years, we've shifted, we really need someone with a stronger finance background or a stronger marketing background. So that's been a really helpful investment. We created shareholder metrics, and then we did create a family match giving program through the Family's Foundation, where each household has a certain amount they can have matched to a charity of their choice each year, which gets the younger generation involved in a spirit of giving too along the way. So that's been really helpful. A ton of work on 5th generation development. And then we've really tried to adopt this idea of ask good questions, listen, and act. So to everything, there's a season. As a family-owned business, I think the one thing we've learned, and I bet a lot of you have experienced this, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Thank you very much, and crave on, my friends.
Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, my name is Bob Lubell. On Saturday, my business turned 54 years old, my family business. So as a family business owner in Toledo, illustrating those presence in Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus, Ann Arbor, and Detroit. We welcome them to come here.
I will take that back to the home office. I would love it if we were here. I think we could do really well. Thank you for that. And congratulations on 54 years. That's awesome.
Any other questions out there?
Thank you very much, and I'll hang out afterwards if anyone wants to ask any other questions.
So we want to extend our sincere thanks to Jamie for joining us. Jamie declined a speaking fee. So instead, we are making a donation in his honor to White Castle's Team Member Relief Fund, which you had mentioned. This fund provides emergency financial assistance to White Castle team members facing unexpected hardships, offering support when they need it most. So we very much appreciate that. We're happy to do that. And that fund is a great example of the kind of value-driven leadership that we celebrate through our Doing Right Spotlight. So businesses that put people first and make a difference in their communities. So we're grateful to honor Jamie in a way that reflects both his heart and the spirit of our Doing Right program. And speaking of that, nominations are open for Doing Right Spotlight 2026. So everyone, please take your program home because there is a QR code in there. So nominate a deserving company. I believe nominations are open till December 12th. Our event is a month later this year. You can mark your calendars for April 14th. So don't forget to nominate someone. Final round of thank yous to Inverness for being a great host, Jim Kenzie for taking the IT burden off of me and taking care of all of this for us. Lori Jacobs with Cake in a Cup did this amazing dessert, so make sure that you take some of those home with you. Thank you, all of you, for showing up. We do have a special little thank you gift for Jamie, some of our treats from Toledo. I know you're heading on a flight. We can either mail it to you or you could take it with you, but good. Some of our local favorites. So thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a wonderful holiday.